Hello and welcome back. In the last video, we learned how to make the enemy get defeated when we jump on them. Now, however, I want the player to be defeated when they collide with the enemy when they are not jumping on them. So you see, as I'm standing right here, the enemy can walk right through me with no problems, but if I jump on top, I get that death animation right there. So let's go ahead and we'll do a simple version. And just like last time, let me add a comment. Enemy defeats you if you collide when not jumping. Okay, so I'm going to start this off the same as the other one. If the player is on a collision with Red Thug, and then I'm going to right click and add another condition, and the player is jumping. Now this is the same as the last one. Oops, that is not what I meant. Let's delete that. Not is jumping. Player is falling. But what I want to do is say if I collide with the Red Thug and I'm not falling. So in order to make it not, just like we did with over here with is moving right, I'm going to right click it and invert it. So if I collide with Red Thug and I am not falling, and we'll just do a really simple one. We'll say system restart the layout. So what this will do is it'll reset the game. It'll send me back to the beginning. So let me go here, and I'm just going to stand here and let him hit me. And then you see it sends me all the way back to the beginning. Pew. Okay, so I've got a very basic enemy attack here that if it hits me and I'm not jumping on it, then I have to restart the layout. But just like with the last one, let's make this one look a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the player, and let's add an animation. Just kidding. Let's go over here, add an animation, and let's say we're going to rename this to Hurt, just like the last one. And I do have an animation built here under Toot Guy. Got Toot Guy Hurt. Just like last time, I didn't mean to do that. So I actually wanted all of these, and I see here that I've got a real silly little animation. So Hurt, I do want this one to loop, and let's see what it looks like. Okay, that's slower than I had intended, so I'm gonna up this to maybe 15 frames per second, and then let's see how that looks. Yep, that guy looks like he's hurt. Now, just like last time, let's go ahead and check on the size. This is 160 by 160, so I'm gonna change it to 32 by 32, and let me just make sure that the other ones are like that. Oh, those are 16 by 16. Let's up that to 32 by 32. Just to keep it consistent. There we go. Okay, so looking in the layout, now I'm larger than I'm meant to be. So let's move you here. I'm just gonna adjust the size. Now I'm 64 by 64. I want to be 32 by 32. Okay, so now in my event sheet, let's go ahead and trigger that animation. So I'm going to say player set animation to Hurt, and then let's wait so we can actually see that animation. Let's say we'll wait for 3 seconds. And then after that, we'll restart the layout. So I'm just going to drag this restart layout and move it down to the bottom. Okay, let's see how that looks. Oh, that didn't work at all. Okay, so if you guys notice, there is a glitch right there where you can see just for a split second there is an animation. But what's happening here is this command right here is saying play the hurt animation. However, up here, there's another command that say, if I'm not moving, set the animation to idle. So as these events are taking place, these two events are giving contradicting instructions. And so what I have to do is make sure that it knows what's going on here. So what I need to do is I'm going to go to the player and I'm going to set up a Boolean variable. And remember, Boolean means true or false, just to say whether or not the player is alive right now. Because if the player's not alive, then they should not do the idle animation. So in the properties, I have instance variables, and instance means it's a variable that just belongs to this one sprite. I'm going to add an instance variable, and I'll just call it isAlive. IsAlive is a Boolean, which means it's true or false, and it is initially true. Okay. So now I've got this Boolean variable on the player that is true. So the first thing that I want to have happen right here is when the player gets hurt, we want to change it to false. So I'm going to say player set the Boolean isAlive to false. And that is going to make it so the system knows that the player is not alive right now. Now the next thing that I have to do is tell the other animations that these things can only happen if the player is alive. So I'm just going to go here to mainly this one right here. Platform is not moving, and I'm going to add another condition. Player check the Boolean, is this Boolean variable set is alive. So now if I'm not moving and I'm alive, then set the animation to idle. And then I'm just going to go ahead and copy that, and I'm going to put it on all of the other ones. I don't like that that's on the bottom, so I'm just going to move that. So if oops, didn't mean that. Paste that in there, and paste that in there, and paste that in there. So there, you're only allowed to move if you're alive. Okay, so let's see how that looks. Okay, there's my animation, 3 seconds, and reset. 3 seconds and reset. Okay, so if you look closely, you might have seen that the animation triggered, started over a couple times. It's a very little thing. So I'm just gonna go in here, and the reason that happened was because the red thug was colliding with the player over and over again. So I'm just gonna say collisions enabled is disabled here. And then let's go ahead and disable the platforming. That way the players can't control the main player after they've been defeated. So now platform is disabled. And now I want to go back and put these up here. The only thing that should happen before those is that isAlive is false. So now I'm gonna go here. He's going to hit me, and I'm hurt, and then I go back to the beginning of the level.